Carly, we're going to have even more Sooner coverage for you tonight. Be sure to tune in to Sooner Sports Pad at 7:30 on Fox Sports Oklahoma. We're going to go one-on-one with Sooners fullback Jeremiah Hall, and we'll also debate who is the Sooners' most improved player this fall. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. At Oklahoma, there's always been talent, and there will always be talent. But I had the chance to sit down with players from a particular group that are looking to cement their spot in Sooner lore. Abby, Davion Harmon came to Norman as a 4-star guard out of Denton, Texas with a lot of potential and a lot of expectation. Now it took him a little while to get settled in, but he's finally starting to hit his stride. Sooner fans will have a chance to check out one of the most intriguing quarterback battles in the country for the first time. Alabama transfer Jalen Hurts and redshirt freshman Tanner Mordecai have been competing all spring long, and though Hurts may seem like the obvious choice, Riley's comments suggest this battle is far from over. While it's understandable why Mr. Hancock wasn't going to comment on the Sooners, he doesn't really have to. In just a few short months, the real committee will meet in this room, and the fate of the Oklahoma Sooners will be in their hands. Sam Brown, Big Friday Sports. We do believe in miracles. This weekend is the 40th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. The kids from the U.S. pulling off the unthinkable upset against the mighty Russians, who were essentially rolling out a professional team at the time. Just look at the scoreboard. It was an offensive showdown, and a lot of players on both sides had big days. But the best player in my eyes on the field on Saturday was C.D. Lamb. Tanner Mordecai, meanwhile, the redshirt freshman who was competing with Hurts, came out, struggled a little bit, 153 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, completed 50% of his passes. Definitely looked a little rattled for a bit, and obviously said after the game he wasn't very pleased with his performance. I know this team hates comparing themselves to last year's team, but it's really hard not to. I mean, you look at the leaps and bounds that they've made, and the best part is, they're only going to get better. Extreme sports are some of the coolest sports on the planet. You've got snowboarding, skiing, paragliding. How about extreme musical chairs? This is at a high school in Texas, and these guys are absolutely going at it.
Do you have any Valentine's plans tonight?
No, definitely not. But I do have some Friday afternoon plans, and if you don't, we've got you covered. On today's show, we'll talk about the dominant women's gym team, plus Parker and I give you our picks for NBA All-Star Weekend. 3.5 threes last year per game, second in the country, and set the Oklahoma freshman record. Yeah. What inspired you to kind of model your game around the deep ball? A lot of fans remember this guy after his game against Alabama in last year's Orange Bowl and really expected him to step up this season. Let me tell you something, folks. Charleston Rambo has lived up to the hype and then some.
Welcome back. David Bartel has made a name for himself as a fan of all OU sports, and after taking his shirt off on ESPN. Sports Pad's Sam Brown has more on the OU Superfan.
This is David Bartel, the heart and soul of the OU student body. Up until January 9th, he was just a communications major from Houston trying to find his way in the world. Then, everything changed. And that's when the internet went crazy. From local newscasts in Oklahoma all the way to ESPN, it seemed like everyone knew the shirtless half-court shot guy.
Honestly, right then and there when I was walking down to the floor, or to the court, I should say, I knew what I was going to do. And the plan was that the end goal was for me to take off my shirt. That was just hands down. I was like, all right, 3 shots? Like, you're going to give me 3 shots? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, is this a time thing? Like, what? Well, like, why are you giving me 3 shots? And they're like, no, you're good. Like, you have 2.5 minutes. I was like, that's all the time I need.
And 2.5 minutes is all it took. But this isn't the first time David has shown off the big guns. He's been a loyal fan of Sooner Sports Pad for almost 2 years now, has taken his shirt off on several occasions, and has gotten used to firing up the crowd before the show.
Boomer! Boomer! This crowd's ready. This crowd's ready. This crowd's so ready.
But David is more than just a guy without a shirt. Anyone who knows him would say he's the same energetic person outside of OU sporting events, but they'll also tell you how great of a friend he is.
It's not that he doesn't care about himself, it's that he's just a genuine human being. So I think that's one thing I think he's not like you can't pick that up on the camera, but maybe they did.
What you see of his energy is what he brings to the table all the time. He loves to talk to you. He loves to just show emotion and everything. I love that about him.
We all have a purpose here. I think we really do. And, there's always someone out there that loves each and every one of us. And I think knowing that is freeing. And knowing that puts you so far away from everyone else. It's awesome, and knowing that other people can join you with that is amazing.
There's no other way to put it. David eats, drinks, and bleeds Sooner pride. Rowdy fans come and go, as do great human beings, and David is a unique combination of both. If there's one thing we do know, it's this: there's only one David Bartel. Sam Brown, Sooner Sports Pad. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend this year's College Football Playoff mock selection event in Grapevine, Texas. We sat in the same room the committee does and had access to all of their advanced metrics and box scores to make our picks for the 2014 mock CFP. Phones and recording devices were not allowed during the discussions, but the pictures don't exactly tell the whole story. What you don't see was hours of deliberation and discussion about where to place each team.
I have so much more respect for their decision now after going through 5 hours in this room of the exact same thing they went through. And so, I think that come December when they show us the 2019 college football rankings, I'm going to be able to say, I think they put a lot of thought into this, and I trust their decision.
CFP Executive Director and Oklahoma grad Bill Hancock had a specific goal in mind when planning this event.
Understanding the computer voting system, which we're proud of and we think is actually a lot of fun. Just that there is a process and that these are human beings making decisions, but making them based on what they have seen with the data and experienced all season.
By the end of the morning, we had finally reached a top 25 and, more importantly, a top 4. Alabama was our #1 team, followed by Oregon, undefeated Florida State, and Ohio State. So how did we do?
This group of students did very well. They were way into it. They had a good understanding. They ranked the teams, the top 4 teams, the same as the actual committee had ranked them back in 2014. So I'm just proud of the group that we had.
Our final rankings did not include Oklahoma in the top 25 after a season where they went 8-4 and lost 3 home games. But as for their chances in 2019,
well, I learned a long time ago not to talk about specific teams, so I'm going to have to pass on that one. And you can air that if you want to.
While it's understandable why Mr. Hancock wasn't going to comment on the Sooners, he doesn't really have to. In just a few short months, the real committee will meet in this room, and the fate of the Oklahoma Sooners will be in their hands. Sam Brown, Big Friday Sports.